Hey everybody, John the Economist here. Today's subject is going to be pertaining to the current Russian-Ukraine situation and the power that waging war via economic sanction actually has in 2022, which I would argue is one of the most effective ways to punish a country for doing, something like invading a European country in 2022. Now, I do want to say two things before I get started here. First of all, I am an economist and a data analyst. This is what I do, right? There are people that are foreign policy experts that are currently having a dialogue on this situation. There are people that look at it through more humanitarian ends, logistical ends, etc. There very real consequences to what's going on right now, to especially the people in Ukraine. It is a very serious issue, and the things that are happening right now are very real for those people. I would know because I have journalists there, and I have a couple colleagues that also work out of Ukraine for one of the startups that I'm at. It is very serious. So, when I am talking about economics here, I don't want anybody to get this and interpretation that I'm like trying to desensitize the situation or that I'm only trying to look at this through a lens of markets. This is again just my expertise, and I am sharing my expertise on this on why such a thing is important right now. So that's the first thing I want to get out of the way. And also, Ukraine has plenty of ways that you can donate. They have crypto wallet addresses that they've posted on Twitter. So if you're trying to help the effort there, go ahead and do that. Second of all, last week Wednesday, I had a live stream, and it's time to, or it's okay to admit when you're wrong, and I was very much wrong when I discussed some of the things in the live stream. The live stream ended, and probably about 2 hours later, Russia actually launched their invasion. So a lot of the comments that I made about oil prices, about the effect this would have on the broader economy, were under the assumption that there was absolutely no way that such a reality would occur. And again, it did. So a lot of that information that I provided and that perspective that I provided is just flat out wrong, period. So just want to say those two quick things. And with that, let's get rolling here. So I'm sure, this is not news to anybody, but Russia has received immense economic sanctions in reference to this Ukraine situation. And my argument here is that those sanctions actually are more effective than boots on the ground would be as far as retaliating against Russia right now. Not only is it bringing a ton of pressure to their actual war effort because it affects their ability to take advantage of supply chains and, fund war production and all of those things that are necessary. But on top of it, it's really made this entire action look even worse to the Russian people as far as the actions that their government is taking. So, first, they've been cut off from SWIFT, right? Most of the Western banks have cut most Russian banks off from SWIFT. This is essentially the primary international payment settling system. So it's going to be very hard as far as any international trade, imports and exports go for them to take advantage of this. I was afraid of how Russia was going to retaliate to such a move, but I think the power of just cutting them off from a ton of different supply lines, supply chains, doing finance with the global economy is absolutely an incredibly effective move to discouraging this war effort on Russia's front. Um, and keep in mind here too that we're already seeing the effects of this. This is Moscow's primary exchange index, and just to draw from the day of the invasion, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, right up top here. Right, so it bottomed negative 50%, and trading's actually been suspended. And since then, it's just been hovering at negative 33%. Trading has not actually been opened in Russia yet, so there is a ton more potential downside that this index could see, but isn't because of the fact that people actually can't take out their money. And also measuring tippy top to bottom here, right? We're looking at a 62% drawdown, or as of currently, excuse me, right, a 50% drawdown. So it is down massively. More importantly is the currency is collapsing, right? The Russian ruble is absolutely collapsing. I don't think I've seen the currency of a developed nation crash like this pretty much ever as quickly as it did, right? Just again, measuring top to bottom, down 32% against the US dollar, currently down 25%. I don't think it's unrealistic to see further downside here. The result of this is, again, they have had to suspend trading, which is crazy, and it's still down over 50%. And on top of it, which I think this is very profound, is the fact that there's bank runs going on in Russia. People are actually, lined out of the door waiting for hours and hours and hours in order to try to withdraw their money, if it's there at all, right? These are super, super serious things. So, in essence, long term, the longer that this goes, the more that these actions are going to hurt Russia. And, I know most of the Russian people didn't choose this war. And for that reason, I feel bad about the fact that these sanctions are probably affecting them the worst. But at the same time, the Russian oligarchs are very unhappy with Putin as a result of this. Everybody's really uncomfortable there, and it's making Russia look like an international disgrace right now. I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be over the next, several weeks, months. Hopefully, it comes to a resolution sooner than that. But what I do know is if the Western nations keep this pressure up, Russia's going to fold sooner than later. I think they have to. They can't be independent enough in order to sustain their economy and recover here without trade. One of my favorite economists, Frederick Bastiat, said, "When goods do not cross borders, soldiers do." Right. Um, and I just think that this is putting Russia at a massive disadvantage in their ability to sustain their war efforts against Ukraine that the entire world basically does not approve of. I'm not a foreign policy expert. I'm not going to try to weigh in any further than that. But simply put, I think the power of these kind of sanctions are absolutely massive as far as sustaining the Ukrainian war effort without getting the West directly involved. I think it's a pretty profound action that, again, in 2022, right? This is the first time we've seen this kind of measures taken. The fact that basically overnight we can just isolate a country from the world economy is crazy to think about. And it's crazier to think about the fact that that probably has a larger effect than putting boots on the ground or bombs, falling from the sky probably would. So I guess we'll see what happens here. Hopefully, some of the information I provided here doesn't age like milk, and hopefully this is over sooner than later. I think that's what we're all pulling for, right? It's still very early. We don't really know how long this is going to drag on, but I personally think that these actions that the Western nations have taken is going to make it very, very difficult for Russia to sustain this war effort for any long length of time. And I just think the game theory doesn't check out either. Russia is not benefiting from any part of this economically. I'm not saying all war is waged for economic reasons. I'd say it's maybe 50-50 at best. But all I know is that usually there's some kind of gain ahead and some kind of game plan and what you're trying to accomplish. And right now, nothing seems like it makes sense because it's trying to go after Ukraine here and sustain this war effort is causing significantly more harm to Russia than good. So, anyways, I'm just trying to keep this video short and just offer my perspective and correct my mistakes from last week. But we'll just keep an eye on this. I'm sure this is going to have ripple effects into the world economy. It already is. There's a lot of interesting things going on here, and there's a lot of technology that maybe people didn't previously think there was a use case for that is very quickly shown that there's massive use cases for. Cyber warfare, economic warfare, it's crazy the impact that it has. So that's all I got for right now. Just a short, sweet video, and I will see you for probably a live stream 2 weeks from now. And yeah, looking forward to it. And hopefully things are a little bit more relaxed and peaceful by then. We're all praying for that, right? See you next time.